Okie dokie, well here's a little Zeyphr. Looks like she could use a dust job. Now four-way seat belts, front and back. And the panel altimeter, our setting here is about 50. Airspeed, voltmeter, RPM, which is about 200 or 300 RPM out. I can't remember whether it's high or low. Temperature, it runs about about in the center there. It's 80 Celsius, I guess, 180 degrees, somewhere around there. The hobs has been left on, which isn't any indication of what the time is. Cylinder head temperatures both run even about, well, I don't know, maybe a little more than 1000. Both run the same. Fuel gauge works. Compass is fine. Airspeed works okay too. Brakes on the stick. Mechanical brakes, which work well. It'll hold till about 5,000 RPM, and then they don't hold any longer than that. They start slipping. Primer up here. It's been a new primer installed. I put a tiny tack on the back when I first got it, and I put 33 hours on it, I guess, by the looks of that. And this I put 28 hours and 20 minutes since I installed this one. It had, as far as I can determine from the former owner, had 86 hours on it, and he put about 10 hours on, he said, and then I put 33 on, so whatever that figures out to. The landing gear's been beefed up on this with that cable braced across there. Apparently one of the previous owners was a little rough on the landing and sprung the gear. But I don't know, it seems to, I haven't had any real hard landings on it. It seems to hold up okay. This is not a really particularly smooth strip, and it handles it okay. Streamlined struts, which are good. I think it's stressed for about +4 and -2. This seems good and tight. All the connections are tight on it. It's had a few patches put on. They were on when I got it. I don't know what the situation is, whether that looks like it's duct tape. Flaps, got 4-position flaps. Somebody's put a piece of clear duct tape on there. The motor is good. It's a Rotax 532 with a IVO prop, adjustable. I've got it set about, I think it's around 6,000 RPM static. That's what it was when I checked it with the tail tied down. Full throttle on climb out, it's about, I think, around 6,200. I don't tend to run the thing full bores anymore, and I can help. Exhaust system's good on it. I had to put a new spring on, but other than that, I think everything's pretty good on the thing. I taped off part of the rad. I couldn't get the water temperature up. I put a new thermostat in too, but I couldn't get the water temperature up to 180. So I taped about maybe close to 2/3 of the rad off. Now it runs about 180 and stays there good. Flying wires all tight on it. They're all good on it. I don't know. This is once the Once the weight comes off the tail and it's flying, the wires, of course, tighten up. Another couple of beautiful little patches on it. Tail wheel works good. There's another beauty right there. The plugs are no, I haven't changed these plugs. I have a new set of plugs for it, but these work good. There'd be 33, there'd be about 43 hours, I guess, on those plugs. Holds about, I think, about 10 gallons of gas, maybe 12 American gallons. Yeah, she needs a bit of a dusting. The fabric is good on it. I haven't never done a punch test on it because I don't have anything to do it with, but I think it's good for quite a few years yet. Good plane. Not a bad cross-country plane. Quite well. I wouldn't say it's easy to fly with the trim. It takes the pressure off the stick, of course. But it doesn't really seem to make a whole lot of difference. It tends to want to hunt a little bit to find its altitude. Well, you know what I mean. Level flight. It takes a bit of fooling around to get it to fly hands off. That's when I'm by myself with a full tank of gas. I'm just barely heavy enough in the front seat on the C of G to be flying it. In fact, I carry my tie-down stakes, which weigh probably a good 5 pounds, to get me up to 165. It'll take, apparently, according to the C of G thing, 127 pounds. 227 pounds in the back seat. So if a guy wanted to pack a bunch of fuel or camping gear or whatever the heck in the back, you can lug quite a bit of freight with this thing. Good plane, cruises about 65 or so, maybe a little faster, 70. I had the prop set so it would cruise about 70 at about 5,600 RPM. But I thought maybe I was lugging the engine too much, so I took a little bit of the pitch off. Anyway, good plane. There's a lot of hours flying in it yet. The engine was taken apart 2 years ago and checked over, and I guess everything was fine. Unfortunately, like most of these ultralights in Canada here, there's no logs for them. I've kept logs for any work I've done, and the previous owner has too. So anyway, that's the story on the girl. I like flying it, but I got that little Lazair parked over there underneath the trees that for my kind of flying, after supper and the wind goes down, that's my type of flying. I've had my fun with this, and I'd like to sell it. Okay, guys.